Shalom Aleichem. Today is Rosh Chodesh Tevet and the second before last day of Hanukkah, and it's a great opportunity to try to see the connection between those two things, the transformation of Kislev and Tevet, and how that fits with Hanukkah, with the help of Hashem. So you have to understand that in the Jewish calendar, the year starts in different places for different aspects. The Rosh Hashanah that we know in Tishrei is one Rosh Hashanah. There's another Rosh Hashanah in Nisan, and there's 4 Rosh Hashanah. But my point is that if you look on the year from Tishrei or from Rosh Chodesh Nisan, which is exactly 6 months one from another, so that will be 2 seasons, the summer and the winter. And obviously we can split those two again, and then we have units of 3 months. Okay, so every 3 months there's a certain shift, there's a certain transformation. So there's 3 months of Tishrei, Cheshvan, Kislev. That's one season, kind of, which is basically from the beginning of the winter to the midst of the winter. And then when we are in Hanukkah, which is the middle of the winter, then we are switching into the other side of the winter, which is coming to the direction of the summer, from Tevet, Rosh Chodesh Tevet now, and then we have Shvat and Adar, and then Nisan is already the time of the beginning of the summer. So the transformation between those 3 months of the beginning of the winter and those 3 months of the end of the winter is basically the same principle of Hanukkah. That's the reason, one of the reasons. Obviously we don't know all the reasons, but one of the reasons that Hashem put it exactly in that point. So if you look on each one of those sides of the year, 6 months, so it fits into the structure of the 10 Sefirot. So we have the Vak, the 6 Sefirot, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod. So the first part of the winter will be the Chesed, Gvura, and Tiferet, which is 1 unit, Chagat, which is more according to the Chassidut, at least, let's say, like the attribute of that is more the emotions, yeah. And then when we get into Tevet, Shvat, Adar is the 3 months of the Nahi, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, which is more related with action. Okay, so we're coming in to the winter with the 3 months of the Chagat, and we're going out of the winter with the 3 months of the Nahi. Same thing also in the summer. Right now we're speaking about the winter. So what does it mean? It means that Hanukkah, in a way, it's time that we can and we should bring into all of this time from Rosh Hashanah, from Tishrei, into that, to internalize it, to be able to bring that into action, to bring that into fruition of where are we coming into, meaning for the next year, the other side of the year that is starting with Nisan, that is the summer. So it would have been, for some people maybe, makes sense that that time of the year, the winter, will be the feminine aspect that is more internalizing, and then the time of the summer, which is more like expressing, maybe that will be the male aspect. But actually it's the other way around, according to the Rashash at least. The time of the winter is more the masculine aspect, and the time of the summer is more of the feminine aspect. Obviously each one of those concepts we can discuss in length, but the point of what I want to say is that if you are sensitive to those transformations that are taking place within the time, within the calendar within the months, within the Jewish holidays, you can see how it affects your being. You can see how the time dimension meets your being. And just that's basically the Sefer Yetzirah concepts, that we have the Olam, Shana, Nefesh, the world, which is the space dimension, Shana, which is the time dimension, and how those two fits with the being, the person that is within those two dimensions. And within the meditations, the Kabbalistic meditations, there is a possibility of being elevated out of the time dimension, out of the space dimension. And my point for this little class is about the time dimension. So you could take the principle, you couldn't take the attributes of every part of time, for example Hanukkah, and see how that fits as a concept through the year, not only to that limited time, to merge it and expand it into your life all year long. So the principle of Hanukkah, obviously there's many things. Whoever was listening to the podcast and the classes and all of the material that we have on Hanukkah, I'm sure that can understand what I'm saying much more. But one of the simple attributes of Hanukkah is to bring the light and increase it. Bring the light and shine out. Okay, so that's kind of a circle of how the abundance works. We're going out to the public domain, we bring in the light from the public domain. That's called like ibur, like pregnancy. And then there's birth, that the abundance comes out afterwards, when it's ready, when it's ready to go out. So whatever is the light that you gained in Hanukkah, within the coming year, it will burn from you. It will be something that you can give over to others with the help of Hashem. So I want to finish with a blessing that Hashem will help us all, Bezrat Hashem, to internalize the light and all of those wonderful concepts that we're learning about within the Kabbalistic meditations, and to be able to bring it within our life, to our surroundings, to the people around us, and to inspire others to be elevated and to connect with Hashem, Bezrat Hashem. ברכה והצלחה, חנוכה שמח, חודש יום מבורך.